What's up, you guys? Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. I made a little mistake in my last video I did. It wasn't, Lot was actually Abraham's grandson. It wasn't his brother, so let me just clear that up. And today I'm going to be reading something a little bit different. This is taken from the book of Acts, chapter 9. You could read the entire chapter 9 if you want, but I'm going to be reading from (36) to 43. So let's go. And now there was at Joppa a certain disciple named Tabitha, which by interpretation is called Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and ops deed, which means she was very good indeed. She was a good woman, and which she did. And it came to pass that in those days that she was sick and died, whom when they had washed. Let me read that over. And it came to pass in those days that she was sick and died, whom when they had washed and laid her in the upper chamber, and for as much as Lydda was nigh to Joppa, and the disciples had heard that Peter was there, they sent unto him 2 men, desiring him that he would not delay them to come to them. Then Peter arose and went with them. When he was come, they brought him into the upper chamber, and all the widows stood by him weeping, and showing the cost of their garments, which Dorcas made while she was with them. So the same woman that got sick and died, Tabitha, she was also known as Dorcas, so I guess she made all the garments that the widows was wearing, and when she died, all the widows started weeping and crying, and because she was a good person. She did good deeds while she was alive, and for some mysterious reason she got sick, and they brought her to like an upper chamber. And that was around the time when the disciples was around, right after Jesus had got crucified. And I think in the same scene too, Saul, remember Saul, the one that was persecuting all the Christians? God appeared upon him and caused his sight to go away temporarily, and they had to send a man called, let me just get everything correct before I tell you guys. Give me 1 second. There was a man called Damascus, and I guess he was like a Roman guard or something. And like when God appeared upon Saul, because he kept prosecuting all the Christians, God came upon him in a sandstorm and said, and a bright light, and said, Saul, Saul, why do you prosecute me? And then by God doing that, Saul lost his vision and he wasn't able to see. But then after, it was like God put him on timeout for a while, and then God sent like a Roman soldier to go see him. And then the Roman soldier restored his sight in the name of God. And then Saul was able to see again, and he wasn't persecuting Christians anymore. He automatically became a disciple and wanted to follow Christ. So in that same story, and then when he went to link up with the disciples, the disciples was afraid of him because they didn't know like if he was one of them. So they was kind of like shook in a way. They would still scrutinize him to see if they could trust him. So when they finally realized that he was changed and he was working for the Lord, then they started to open up to him and they started to work together. So now Peter had, well, you know, back in those days, all the disciples had the power to cast out demons and heal the sick and stuff like that. So in the name of Jesus. So back to verse 40 now. But Peter then, it said, but Peter put them all forth and kneeled down and prayed. So they all got on their knees and prayed. And turning him to the body, said to Tabitha, which was the woman that was dead, and she opened her eyes. So let me read that again so I don't confuse you. But Peter put them all forth and kneeled down and prayed. And turning to him, the body, said, Tabitha, arise. And she opened her eyes, and when she saw Peter, she sat up. Because you know, when somebody's passed away, they're laying down. And then for the voice of God to tell them arise, only God have power over the spirit. So no man have power over the spirit. God could work through us, but no man really have power over the spirit. So the woman woke up and then she realized it was Peter, one of the disciples. So then when she realized that, she sat up, you know, and gave her his hand and lifted her up. And when he had called the saints and widows, presented her alive. So he gave her his hand and lifted her up. And when he had called the saints and widows, presented her alive. And it was known throughout all Joppa, and many believed in the Lord. So many believed in the Lord after they seen the signs and the miracles of him healing. And it came to pass that he tarried many days in Joppa with one Simon and a tanner. So it's just to show you the power of God. Never underestimate the power of God, because God is a real God and he's alive and well. So I hope this message was a blessing to you. Be sure to share, like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think. I don't know how I made that mistake in my other video when I said, because I said Abraham and Lot was brothers, but it's really, Lot was the grandson of Father Abraham. So I just wanted to clear that part up. God bless you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. That's why it's good to read too. Read up on your stuff. Even though I say something, read it for yourself, because it's easy to make mistakes sometimes. I try not to, but it's easy to make mistakes. Okay, take care.